Hey, it's Matt. Okay, so this past Saturday night, me and Trailblazer Tim got out and we did a nice overnight camping trip. Since it was our first really cool weekend of the year, it was like the low was like 59 or 60 and the high was like 75. The cold front just came through. Don't laugh, that's cool for us. So we thought that we would do a hammock camping adventure. And what sounded good on the outset, because I have never stayed overnight in a hammock before. I've set it up in my garage and it's set up behind me because I'm going to show you a couple of things about it. I thought it would be great to try hammock camping for the first time on a nice cool weekend. So we went out and got all of our stuff together and everything else and got a campsite picked out, and it was great, and we got all of our stuff in there, and that is as good as it got. Then I proceeded to break every single rule of hammock camping, and I did not have a good night. I got about an hour and a half of sleep on Saturday night, and on Sunday I was just wrecked all day because of it. So I'm going to show you what I did and what I screwed up so that you don't do those mistakes yourself, and we're going to get to that right now. Okay, so like I said, me and Trailblazer Tim got out, we got all of our stuff together, and picked out a nice camping spot. And you can actually see the video if you want to see it. It really was a great video. I'm going to put a card to the video of the trip on the Swamp Rat Survivalist channel right up here in the upper right hand corner. It's a great trip. Go over and check it out. But we got out and I started setting up the hammocks, and the first thing that I did wrong is I did not keep my mind on what I was doing. Tim was out there and he was setting up stuff and he was shooting the video and we were jabbering back and forth and I was setting up the hammocks and I wasn't watching what I was doing. And I really wish that I would have just stopped and thought about the length of the apart from the trees and how high I was setting up the straps and the ridge lines and all that kind of stuff. But the first mistake I did was I did not keep my mind on what I was doing. And that led into all of the other mistakes that I'm going to get to right now. Okay, so here's my garage setup. I have a big enough garage. This garage is 20 feet long. And what I did is all the way in the upper corner, I've got a big hook eye up there, and now I can set my hammock up and I can come all the way over here, and I got another screw eye over there. So now I can set my hammock up at a distance of about between focal point to focal point or tree to tree of about 18 feet. That's pretty long, and that's why these straps are up there. That is about 7 feet 10 inches, my anchor point, and I'm only about 5'8", and if I reach up, I'm still a good foot below that. So if I went out camping and I had trees that were 18 feet apart, I couldn't set the straps right, because at a distance of 18 feet I am at my 30-degree angle. Very close to my 30-degree angle on both sides, and that's perfect. Okay, what I did is we had trees that were about 6 paces. That's about 8 paces for me from back here to the other side. We had trees that were about, I don't know, 6 paces apart. So I would have needed to drop those straps at least a foot. So I didn't do that. I set the straps up at eye level. So instead of my straps being at a 30-degree angle, my straps were flat. Okay, that was the biggest mistake I made. So the hammock was too flat. Okay, now on my hammock you can see I have attached right here, and it runs all the way over to the other side of the hammock. This is a piece of AM steel, and when I set this hammock up in the garage, I very carefully measured the length of my hammock, and I set this structural ridge line goes all the way over here. I set this structural ridge line, and I just got a cable lock on there to keep it. I set this structural ridge line at 83% of the length of my hammock, which is what everybody says. Set it at 83%. Well, there's a problem with that. And here's the problem. Since my hammock suspension was not set at that 30-degree angle, it was set flatter, I could not adjust my ridge line to get to the 83% figure where I set up in my garage, and it was nice and comfortable at 83%. I couldn't do that. I had to lengthen it because my hammock suspension was flatter. So I couldn't duplicate the amount of sag that I do in my garage right here where it's nice and comfortable out in the woods. And I didn't even think about it. I just said, oh, I need to lengthen the ridge line. So when I lengthened the ridge line, I couldn't get the amount of sag, and I couldn't, the hammock was too tight. There was a spline in the middle of the hammock. It was too tight, and I couldn't lay on my side, and I couldn't lay diagonally in the hammock, and I couldn't lay straight and flat, and I couldn't get comfortable. So I didn't keep my mind on what I was doing. I didn't set the straps right. I didn't set the structural ridge line right. This is a recipe for disaster. Let's see the next thing that I screwed up on. Okay, the next thing that I screwed up on is, you're going to see it right here. I was trying to use a sleeping bag in the hammock. All right, because I don't have an underquilt on this hammock, and this is a double nest, and I got a huge amount of material on there. I don't have an underquilt, so I figured I would just throw my sleeping bag in there and use that. Wrong. What happened was, it says nylon against nylon, and it slides like anything, and it slides and slides and slides. I could not get in the hammock on the sleeping bag. It would just bunch up around me, and if I got into a comfortable position, I could slide myself up to where my head was nice and up, and when I got into a comfortable position, all I would do is just slide right back down. So it was like sleeping on a slip and slide. Not to mention, I couldn't lay flat, and then I couldn't get the sleeping bag under me, because at about 60 degrees on the underside of the hammock, you know, because I don't have an underquilt, it was fairly cool. The material was fairly cool. So I needed the sleeping bag to keep my back nice and warm. But I could not do it because I didn't practice getting in and out of the hammock at home when there was a sleeping bag in there. So that was my next deadly mistake. Okay. After about 2 hours of screwing around with the hammock and the sides and the sleeping bag and the bug net and everything else, and you know, I did have my PYS outdoor bug net set up, and this performed absolutely flawlessly. This is a great bug net. If you have a hammock and are looking for a budget bug net, this costs like 22 bucks shipped off of eBay. So I finally got in there. I'm in my bug net, and it took a couple of hours to do this. And you know, me and Tim were up drinking and stuff. I'll get to that in a minute. We're up drinking and stuff, and you know, we go to bed late. It took me a couple hours rolling around with the sleeping bag to finally get set up, and I close my eyes, and you know, I stop myself from swinging. The hammock is dead still and dead straight, and I close my eyes, and every time I closed my eyes, I felt myself going like this. And I would open my eyes, and I'm dead still. I close my eyes, and my mind would start to swing. Open my eyes, dead still. And that drove me absolutely insane. You know, I can go out on a cruise ship, you know, and not get seasick, but little boats, I don't do too good on little boats. I don't even feel too good if I'm watching a TV show and I see rough water on TV. I don't even feel too good on that. But every time I closed my eyes, I would get in like the swirly whirlies. I couldn't get out of the I knew I was in a hammock, so I knew I was swinging. I opened my eyes and I'm dead still. So that went on for about 2 hours. And then the worst thing that could happen happened. Okay, you have to know what I'm getting to right now. Tim and I stayed up drinking beer and, drinking a little bit of booze, and we ate some dinner and we were drinking beer and we were drinking a little bit of booze and everything else. And, I had all these problems with the hammock. I get in, I go to sleep for maybe 20 minutes, and I wake up and I had a splitting headache because we were drinking some whiskey and we were drinking a lot of beer. And then, because we were drinking a lot of beer, I had to pee. So I had to get out of the hammock, and I did not bring a piss bottle with me. I don't even have a piss bottle. I could have used anything, I guess, but how are you going to take a piss in a hammock? I've yet to figure out how anybody does that. I don't want to blow by blow or a video of how to do it, but I can't figure out how you can take a piss laying down when you're a guy. So I had to get out of the entire hammock, unzip the bug net, get out of the entire hammock, go pee. Then I had to get back in the whole thing all over again. So everything that I just described to you, it was a repeat, okay? So I finally got, and now the worst part is coming up. It took me a while. I got back in the bug net. I got back in the hammock. I finally got all wrapped up in the sleeping bag all over again. That took a while. And then I laid down for a little while. And then what happened? I had to go again. So I had to get out of the whole thing a second time. Go take a piss, come all the way back, get all the way back in the hammock, and do all of the same stuff over again. Moral of the story is, watch how much beer or water or whatever intake. I know you're camping, you want to go out and have a good time, you want to drink with your friends and everything else, but keep in mind that what goes in has got to come out sometime soon. And I did not take that into account. We had a cooler full of beer and we drank up the whole thing. So what it amounted to was around about 4:30 in the morning. I finally fell asleep about 4:30 in the morning because I think that I was just too damn tired to stay up any longer, no matter how uncomfortable or cold my backside was or what, if I had to take a piss or not. I finally fell asleep about 4:30 in the morning. Okay. At 5:45, it was just getting daylight. No, about 5:45, we got woken up by people driving up and down the road and people talking because it was a state park, Sebastian River State Park, and the gates are supposed to open at 8 o'clock in the morning, but there was people coming up the road at 5:45 and 6 o'clock in the morning. So we just decided to get up. So I got maybe a half an hour of sleep earlier in the night, and then I finally fell asleep about 4:30. So I got about an hour and a half of sleep the whole night. And on Sunday, I was just wrecked. So let's put all of this together. Okay, so let's wrap this up. Hammock camping trip was great. The trip was great. The weather was great. The cold front came by, and at night, it was a little breezy, and at night the wind dropped down to nothing, and it was nice and cool. It got down to 59 or 60 degrees, just cool enough to keep you cool without being too cool so that we were cold. There was very light mosquitoes. The PYS bug net worked excellently. This is a great bug net. I might do a review on that, but there's several on YouTube already. But this is an excellent bug net that kept what few mosquitoes were there. That kept them away from me very, very nicely. So what I did was I broke every rule. we got there. Timbo was jabbering. He was shooting a video. We weren't even drinking yet. It was like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And we're talking, and he's shooting a video, and I wasn't keeping my mind on what I was doing. I wasn't watching. I didn't get the proper trees. And because I didn't get the proper length trees, I couldn't duplicate my setup that I just showed you here in my garage. Our trees were closer together. I didn't take that into account. I should have had the hammock straps. In my garage, I had the hammock straps way up, but I set them up at about eye level, way too low, because I wasn't keeping my mind on what I was doing. I didn't get the proper 30-degree angle on my straps. Because I didn't get the proper 30-degree angle, I couldn't get my ridgeline set. Because I couldn't get my ridgeline set, I couldn't get the proper sag in my hammock. And when I couldn't get the proper sag in my hammock, I couldn't lay diagonally flat. It was not comfortable at all. I had to sleep. I had to do the banana. And you can't do that for very long, okay? And because I had to do the banana, it wouldn't hold my sleeping bag. I didn't practice with a sleeping bag. That's the first time I ever tried to use a sleeping bag in a hammock. And it's just nylon against nylon, and I felt like I was sleeping on a slip and slide all night. So after that, when I finally got comfortable, I wasn't used to hammock camping, and every time I closed my eyes, I felt the swinging feeling. And that was really hard. And then I drank too much beer, and I had to go pee a couple of times, so I had to get out and then back in and out and then back in. And then by about 4:30 in the morning, I was worn ass out, and I got about an hour and a half of sleep. So my advice to you is don't do anything that I did. And I did a lot of research on this on YouTube, and a lot of research on how to set up the hammock and the proper angle and everything else. And I have this set up perfectly in my garage. I can lay here and get no swing, and I can get in the sleeping bag now. I kind of know how to do it, but that was the first time, and I was out in the woods, so I had no backup plan. So if you're going to try it at home first. If it sucks, you can always go inside and crash on the couch or crash in bed. I had no alternatives. I had to stick it out. So that was just a rundown of my entire hammock camping fail. But what it did is it taught me a lot of things about hammock camping, and I will not make those mistakes again. I am sure that my next hammock camping adventure will be much, much more enjoyable than this hammock camping adventure. So until next time, this is Matt, the old Florida boy, and I will see you on the trail.